Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Already we're live. And as you guys can tell by channel, today I'm going to be going over enemy AI logic in Unreal Engine 5 using C++. And that's it. Last stream, I did like go over the logic where I actually summoned a actor or actually a character of a window using the button C in my keyboard. Today I'm going to give that actor some kind of abilities type stuff. That's it. Let's go to my gameplay screen. There we go. Okay, hi doing? Actually, guys, I don't think I can read Arabic. Okay, that's it. I appreciate you joining the stream. I'm not. I was not in the stream while school because of exams. Oh, I see. But glad to be back. Honestly, I'm glad you're back. While Q, I kind of missed you as well. Okay, that's it. Let's say something like "Today I'm live!" exclamation. Okay, and guys, I just like came from my class as well a while ago. Okay, hello, Vic. Have you tried VLAN already? Honestly, guys, I feel like what's we call it. I do like say this almost every single stream that I'm going to start soon, but I don't end up starting it. Maybe I am going to be starting it like after my program for like 250 series. Once I'm actually done with the series, because then I'm going to be having much more time. So before actually going over my other main series, spoilers alert, which is basically going to be me making most likely a chatbot type stuff. I might have two mini series, one for working on lead code and the other for trying VLAN. That said, a warrior's path is never smooth, but better line is just a ghost in the machine, said by Sensei. Okay, we're back in the trenches. Your stream is waiting, and they aren't here for excuses. They're here for results. You left us with a broken code AI module, guys. Is this even the last chat? I mean, the latest chat? Oh, I was using Claude. What up, guys? I had the wrong chat open. There, I think Claude it is. I think Claude it is. Blender Mesh. Boss AI state implementation. Alright, I mean, I forgot which chat it was, but I think I could just go ahead and use the latest chat that I had with Claude. Let's scroll all the way down. There we go. And before I really like go over the program, I want to kind of show you guys what I did last stream. If I were to go ahead and run the code here from my Visual Studio, this is going to open my Unreal Engine. Guys, am I like in the center of my screen? Sorry guys, let me check. I think I'm in the center of my screen. There we go. Okay, so this is basically gonna go ahead and open my Unreal Engine, and then I'm gonna show you guys what I worked on last stream. Okay, Botrix has successfully joined the chat. Okay, let's see. Let's wait for the Unreal Engine to open. I should have opened it before the stream, but I wanted to kind of run it in front of you guys. Let's go. There we go. Okay, let's extend it from the bottom, and it says 4 assets to the editor. Sure, remember my choice, and I'm gonna hit yes. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and click my content drawer, and then in my contents section, I'm gonna, let's say, double click my map. This is where I actually have my, should I say, logic and characters. If I were to run the code, this is basically my player called Tom, and did I not save my code? What up, guys? If I were to go under IA underscore look, this is going to be a 2D vector, and then let's double click my IA underscore look as well, which is going to be inside my input. There. Okay, let's go with IA underscore move. That's going to be a digital boolean as well. I'm positive I saved this stuff. There's no way I did not save it last stream, did I? Let's hit save all. I'm going to go ahead and save all. Now, if I were to go ahead and run the code, I can move forward, backwards, left, right. And if I were to hit C in my keyboard, I spawn Lisa, which is basically my actress's name. Why am I kind of diagonal? There we go. So basically, wherever I face, I spawn a character the direction I kind of face. Although now I'm going to add some kind of logic that Lisa starts chasing me as well, and later I might add a cap unless and until I don't defeat one of my actors. I cannot spawn them, so I can't like spam actors. That's it. I might add a cap. Okay, now for my actors to get abilities. Oh wait, no, we're using Gemini now. Honestly, I did I started using Gemini I think from 20 streams ago. Then I moved on to Claude as well because I thought that Gemini is very good for Unreal Engine because I have 100 picture limit per day because Gemini you can send a lot of pictures, and I do need to send screenshots for my Unreal Engine because that's not the same as code. ChatGPT just has a limit of 3 because I use the free version. Is Gemini better than ChatGPT? I'd say ChatGPT is better when it comes to teaching, but Gemini is much better and much more convenient when it comes to sending screenshots and asking detailed explanation type stuff, because Gemini and Claude are basically for getting the code. ChatGPT is for explaining what happens in the back. Okay, that's it. So now I'm gonna go to my Lisa's, let's say, class here, and I'm gonna go ahead and maybe add a few enums because I want my enemy to have three different states: attack, idle, and let's say chase, where he attacks if he gets close to my player, he chases if my player is like maybe in 100 centimeters is radius, and he's idle if I'm like away from 100 centimeters. If that made any sense, guys. Although it was easier said than I think that it's easier said than done. So I might wanna look at a reference. There we go. So this is the code that I worked on. I think last week. Okay, gonna like look at the reference here. And guys, if I can't talk properly right now, that is because I'm not that warmed up just yet, because I just came from class, guys. Okay, so I have my trigger binds. These are the basic correct parts. I have my boss's header files. So basically what I did in my boss's header files, I defined the mind by adding enums. This is what I was talking about. Firstly, I gotta go with a enum, which is a blueprint type, and then I gotta go with something like an enum class, which is going to be represented by, or not represented, my class name is going to be enum boss state. Okay, then I'm gonna go with the colon of uint8. Okay, I see. Then I give my three types: idle, chase, and attack. Idle is going to be having a uMetas function where my display name is going to be idle. Chase's display name is going to be display name. I mean, it's going to be chase, and attack's display name is going to be attack. Okay. And then I go under my protected data members, which is below my begin play. And I go with step 2, the brain variables. So I create a U property which I want it to be visible anywhere. I want my blueprint to be able to read it only, not really edit it. And then I want my category to be called something like AI. So I want to categorize this enum in a AI's section or category. Okay, and then my class of eBoss state, I represented through a local variable called something like current state. Then another U property, which is basically the distance to player, so how far is my NPC from my player. Okay, step 3, the decision function. We will write the logic inside here to keep the dict clean. Oh, I see, okay. Because it's better to have less content inside the dict because that works every single frame, if that makes any sense. So while update boss location, okay. So that shouldn't be that hard. All I needed was an enum, was my current state, which is represented by my enums class. It's called current state, and a distance to player. Okay, that shouldn't be that hard. I'm gonna open my actual file. And guys, the reason I'm looking at this reference as well is because I wrote this code like a whole week ago. I need some kind of practice, so I need to like look at the reference a little longer. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go. Whoops, guys, open my Discord by mistake. Hold up. There we go. Let's exit Discord. There. Okay, so firstly, before my U class starts, I gotta go ahead and create a U enum. So I'm gonna go before my U class. So in my header files, before my U class, I'm gonna add a comment that says something like create a enum class for, let's say something like Lisa's brain. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and type something like enum, which is Unreal's enum class. Or enum, we use it before we create an Unreal's enum, because if we create regular classes, C++ know that we created classes, but the Unreal Engine does not really know that. Okay, so my enum is going to be represented by a class called, let's see, I'm going to go with something like E. Okay, I guess I look at the reference again for this. And guys, ignore me if I look at the reference. I'm just looking at this for really learning how do you do this stuff, because I'm not like familiar with like the enum syntaxes type stuff. That's that. Okay, so it's going to be blueprint type. So this is a enums function, just like my U class and my U property. I'm going to go with something like a blueprint type. And I might add a comment here that asks a question, because I do have a question about this. There we go. I'm going to add a comment and say, what does the blueprint type parameter do here, question mark. I'm later going to like send this code to like Claude to like actually get some explanation for these things. But for now, I just want to get used to the syntax by writing it. And later I might figure this out myself. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and create something like a enum class. Let's go with something like a enum class, which is going to be called something like E. Should I go with something like E state type? I want to create states. What was the? And guys, the name is not that important. For all we know, I could like set the name to be something like a water bottle. But the reason I actually write these names is because it's much better to understand later on. So it's e boss state. I'm gonna go with something like e Lisa state because this is my Lisa's actor. There we go. And then I might need a u int 8 because I'm assuming this is like a 16 bytes storage here. Okay, let's go with something like u int 8. U int 8. There we go. Okay, and then once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and add a pair of curly braces. In my pair of curly braces, I'm gonna go ahead and add three states. The first state is gonna be for my attack, okay, which is gonna be equal to, should I go with umeta? Guys, let me get my OBS here. Okay, now let's go ahead and get my Visual Studio up here as well. There we go. Okay, so I have idle, chase, and attack umeta. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna go with something like attack first. My attack is gonna be equal to a umeta. Unreal's meta. I'm assuming this is what really tells Unreal Engine that this state actually exists inside of this enum that I created. My umeta is gonna be equal to, let's say, okay, actually this is gonna be a umeta function, which is going to be having a display name as a parameter. Let's go with display name. What name do I want my attack to be displayed on in my Unreal Engine? I want it to be called something like attack. So I'm going to go with something like attack. And then let's add a comma. Now, once I'm done with my first attack state, I'm going to go with something like idle. Let's go with idle. My idle state is going to be having a umeta as well. Okay, my umeta's function is going to require a display name again. My display name is going to be equal to, I'm going to go ahead and add something like idle. I want it to be called idle, IDLE, okay, in my Unreal Engine. And then lastly, I might need a chase as well, okay, which is going to be having a umeta as well. So, and there we go, guys. This is what I mean. It's like when I write the code a few times, I think I'm already trying to understand what this whole thing really means, and I might be able to like write it on my own as well. Okay, because the syntaxes is like, I'd say somewhat the harder part when you start, but later it gets easier. Okay, so first I would like really recommend learning the syntax and later on working on the logic, unless you guys can work on both of them together. Okay, that's it. Let me actually check if I got any chats because I did not have that on. Yo, I appreciate you, Gabriel. That actually means the world to me. Okay, do you like cakes of your mother? Honestly, guys, I don't think that I eat cakes in general because I feel like I try not to eat. Actually, I don't eat sugar at all. The only sugars that I do prefer eating is like either Jagger or like natural sweets. Okay, okay, that said, let me go ahead and get the reference back up here. There we go. Okay, so now in the reference, once I'm done creating my umetas or my enums, I go ahead and under my begin play, I set the brain variables. So I create the brain variables using a few U properties. One that represents my current state from my eBoss state. The second, my distance to player. I see. Okay, so let's go under my begin play. This is my protected data member. In my protected data member, I'm gonna add a comment that says something like, should I go with something like the brain variables? Let's go with current state, or I'm gonna go with something like Lisa's current state. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and firstly add a U property. Let's go with PROPERTY. Now my U property is gonna be having three parameters. Firstly, I want my Lisa's current state to be visible anywhere. I want it to be visible anywhere, and then I want it to be blueprint read only. I only want my blueprint to be able to read my Lisa's state, not fully edited. Lastly, this is optional, but I feel like it's really important. It's category. I want to organize my state in an AI's category. There we go. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say get my Lisa states enum class, and I'm gonna go ahead and represent it by a local variable called something like Lisa's current state, or let's go with something like Lisa current state. I don't think I should go with Lisa current state. I'll just go with something like current state. And guys, this Tuesday, when like the Tuesday comes again, I might have a community post asking you guys whether or not I should have a Blender stream or like a workout stream. I am rooting for the Blender stream because I do need to make more meshes, for example, Lisa and all that meshes, because I will be using those meshes by the end of this series, which is like, I think like 149 more days. Wait, hold up, I think it's in 99 more days. It's coming, it's almost over, guys. Okay, that's it, I'm gonna end this way, semicolon. Once I'm done with my Lisa's current state, I'm gonna go ahead and add another comment that says something like, get Lisa's distance, okay, from player. There we go. Okay. Actually, instead of from player, I might go with from target. That sounds much better. Okay, now for this, I'm gonna go ahead and add a new property. So I'm gonna go with new property, where I'm gonna be requiring 3 parameters again. The first parameter is going to be visible anywhere. Okay, I want my distance to be visible anywhere. I want my distance to be blueprint read only. I only want my blueprint to be able to read my distance, not fully edited. Lastly, I want my category to be equal to AI. There we go. And guys, you guys could name this AI to, I don't know, maybe something like Lisa's chase stats or something like that. I don't know. These names are just optional. Guys, I just dropped the pin down. What up, guys? There we go. Can't be having these pins down, because the next thing you know, they're like poking your legs. Okay, once I'm done with this, I'm gonna add another comment that says something like functions. There. So I'm now going to go ahead and create a function, actually declare a function that later on I'm going to be defining in my C++ file. This function is going to be called something like, I'm assuming update Lisa states. Let's go with something like a function called something like update Lisa state with a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon. Now, the reason I use this function and I'm not really updating my Lisa's state in my tick is because tick, it executes every single frame, even if we want it or if we don't want it, just going to execute every single frame. So we have an update function because having like a lot of content in tick makes it really hard in our CPU. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and control S to save the code, and now let's go on to the header files to define the stuff that I declared. And guys, if I can't talk properly, that is because I'm not warmed up just yet. I mean, I've been streaming for like 18 minutes, probably warmed up. Okay, update boss logic. I mean, the name is the same, but I prefer like writing the almost exact same name when I start, so I really understand what it means. Let's go with something like update Lisa logic. There. Okay, then I'm going to control it to save the code. Now, if I were to go ahead and let's say, there we go. Go to my boss in C++, which is a reference that I've been looking at. I wrote this code like a week ago. I didn't practice, so I forgot what I wrote here. Now, the two things that I would need is firstly the header files from my Kismet's gameplay statistics, okay, and the second is going to be my engine / engine.h. I'm assuming the reason I included my engine here is because of my where's it gone? Because of my G engines add-on screen debug message, because this is where we use the engine to actually display text, like literal text on our Unreal Engine's level. Okay, so let's learn what's going on here first. Once I include the two header files that I need, I'm gonna move on to my constructor and construct two things. So the first thing is going to be my current state, which is going to be equal to my eBoss state, which is the empty class that I created, which is the empty enum class that I created. I use the scope resolution operator to get a hold of my idle function. Okay, so my current state starts at idle. Since they say it's always initialized, initializing is very important, guys. And then distance to player equals to 0.0f. Okay, my Lisa is not going to be close to my player. I see. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and define my update boss logic, where there's a comment that says dark psychology tip. Guys, dark psychology tip is kind of crazy, but it is kind of fun. Okay, print these states so your stream can see the brain working. So I go, oh, this is basically just to display my state on my window, saying like what state I really have. So I have a f string, okay, which is going to be represented by a local variable called state that is equal to an empty quote. And then I use switches. So for my switch, I go with current states. For my case 1, I check if my current state's case is eBoss state is idle. If my state is idle, my state name is going to be equal to idle. Logic, if player is close, less than 1,000 units, start chasing. if my distance to player is less than 1,000, current state is going to be equal to chase. Oh, I see. So if my player like enters at a certain radius that is like inside the radar of my actual actor or character, my character starts following my player. I see. And then I go with break. And then next up I have chase, boss state, chase. State name moves to state name is going to be equal to chasing you. Get the brain, the controller. I go with a AI controller. Okay, I'm assuming for my AI controller, for me to be able to use it, I gotta go to my summon x's, my build.cs file. There we go. I need to add my AI module and my navigation system. I didn't remember that part, guys, from last week. I struggled so much figuring that out. Okay, and then once I'm done with that, AI controller is going to be something like my boss controller that is going to be equal to cast AI controller. The reason we cast here is to check if the controller that I'm using belongs to this boss's character and not some other character. And then I go with something like a character, player target, view gameplay statistics. I'm assuming this is like from my Kismet's libraries, header files, helper files. Okay, then get player character, get world 0. Alright, I think I won't be reading the whole thing right now. I'm gonna work one chunk at a time. So first I gotta construct my current state and distance to player. Okay, I guess let's open my main file here. Now, in my main file, firstly, in my C++, I'm gonna go ahead and add a comment that says something like initialize variables. Well, I mean, I'll just go with initialize because some are variables, some are maybe pointers. I don't think this is pointer, right? I might go with variables. Hold up, guys, give me a quick little second. I have a purple underline. That is a local variable. I don't have a local variable here. So I'm gonna go with something like a floating point variable called something like distance to player. There. Okay, then I end this with a semicolon. I mean, I could potentially set this equal to something like, I'll just leave it declared. I'll define it later on. Okay, once I'm done with this, I have a void function where I see a red underline. Found a parentheses when expecting a semicolon. Oh, it was just my editor acting buggy. Okay, now I'm gonna go with something like my Lisa state. I'm gonna go with something like Lisa state, which is gonna be equal to, is it called Lisa state? Okay, my current state. Hold up, guys, let's get my current state. My current state is gonna be equal to my Lisa's state, which uses state, which uses a scope resolution operator to point towards idle. If no other state is currently being initiated, I want my state to be idle by default. And then I'm gonna set my distance to players' floating point local variable to be equal to 0.f, ending with a semicolon. Okay, I found Sanjitan been wipe coding, been Laden again. I see. Honestly, I haven't like heard of him. Is he like a streamer as well? Okay, that's let's see. So, okay, what is it that I might need? Let me just check something there. There we go. Okay, so what is the next thing now? Under my begin play, I'm assuming the next thing that I might need could be, let's go with something like defining the update Lisa logics as functions. I'm gonna go with something like update Lisa logic. Okay, now for my update Lisa logics as function, firstly, I'm gonna go ahead and have a white function. Yo, how are you doing? Autumn. Guys, I can't spell, so is it automate tag? I appreciate you joining the stream. He isn't? Oh, I see. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go with something like a void function called, actually a void function from my Lisa's character class, which is gonna be called, let's say something like update Lisa logic. There. I declared this function in my header files. I'm gonna define it in my C++ file. It does not require any parameters, so I'm just gonna add a pair of parentheses and then a pair of curly braces. Now, inside my Lisa's function, is this just my editor or is it my spelling? I'm gonna copy that. It was my editor, guys. It always acts buggy. That's it. Now, for my Lisa has a function. What is something else that I might need? Let me think. Okay, I guess I check the reference for this. Okay, so for my update logic, first I print the states. Okay, this is optional, but I think it's a pretty good practice to like say what status your NPC currently having. Okay, so I have a f string which has a state names a local variable representing my f strings a structure that is going to be equal to a pair of empty quotes. Then I use switches and then I add my logic. I see. Okay, should be easy most likely. So I'm gonna go with something like an f string. Okay, my f string is gonna be represented by a local variable called something like string, which is gonna be equal to. Should I go with state name? I'll go with state name. Maybe I'll make it a bit more clear. Lisa state name. There, which is going to be equal to a pair of double quotes ending with a semicolon. Guys, my phone keeps falling down. I keep my phone in front of me to see if my chat is going good and all that stuff, but it keeps falling down. Okay, and then I'm going to end this with a semicolon. Now let's add a switch. You guys could use if statements as well, but I feel switch is a bit more classy. I'm going to go with something like current state as my condition here, and then a pair of curly braces. Now, for my case 1, I'm gonna check if my current state, let's go with something like current is my current state. Okay, let's go with if my current state is equal to, I'm gonna go with something like my Elisa's state, which basically stands for my enum states. Okay, so if my state is, let's say, something like idle, then I'm gonna go ahead and do something. Alright guys, I think I spelled this wrong. Let's copy this and just go ahead and paste this here. Now, wait, did I kind of spell this wrong? Alright guys, let me get the reference back up here. There we go. Okay, so it's state name. Okay, wait. Case, if my eboss state is idle, then I'm gonna go ahead and do this thing. Okay, so I did not really need my current state here. That was my bad, guys. Okay, so for my state, I'm gonna check if my state is idle, then I'm gonna go ahead and do something. I'm gonna firstly end this with a semicolon. Maybe I add a colon here. There we go. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let's say set my Lisa state name to be equal to something like idle. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and okay, 2 things I could do. First is add a comma, go in a new line, and add some kind of logic. Guys, this is the thing, like, the syntax here is so complicated at the very beginning. I think this is most likely the logic part and not syntax, to be honest. Oh, so I end this with a semicolon. Okay, and then we have a whole different stuff. Logic, if player is close, less than 1,000 units, start chasing the player. Does this really start chasing the player? It just changes my state to be chase. Later on I'm gonna add my content there. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like my Lisa state name is idle. I'm gonna go ahead and end this with a semicolon. And then let's say something like I'm gonna go with, how did I already forget? Let's add a comment that says something like logic. So this is gonna be my logic section. If player, I'm gonna go with something like if player is less than 1,000 units is less than 1,000 units from Lisa. Let's go with something like from Lisa. Okay, Lisa chases player. There we go. Okay, alright guys, let's go with something like player. There. Okay, I think I have making so many mistakes, guys. Hold up, guys. Let's go with something like player. There we go. Okay, I gotta work on my typos, to be honest. Let me know if the stream is kind of lagging. I think it's going kind of smooth. Okay, so now I'm gonna add an if statement here to check something. I'm gonna check if my distance to player, is less than, it says less than, it doesn't say equal to, is less than 1,000 point f, then I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna change my state, so I'm gonna go with something like current state. Let's go with something like current state is gonna be equal to Lisa state. I'm gonna go with something like chase, and then I end this with a semicolon. And if you guys really want, you could add a G-engine add-ons to a debug message. I might do it. Although before I do it, I forgot a very important thing. Firstly, I'm gonna go ahead and include my helper files. So I'm gonna go with something like From my KISMET, from my explicit library, I'm gonna go with something like my gameplay statistics. Let's go into lessons. I don't have this memorized. Control space first into lessons. There we go. Let's go with something like okay. How do you get into lessons on? Control space. Okay, I guess we don't get our into lessons on. I was kind of positive that we could get our into lessons on like that. Okay, so it's from my explicit library. I'm going to go with gameplay statistics.h, engine.h, and AI controllers as header files. Okay, let's go with something like gameplay. Was the P uppercase? Gameplay statistics. Oh, guys. Oh, it's lowercase p. Okay, gameplay. Okay, let's go with gameplay statistics .h, and then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go with something like include. For my second include, alright guys, let's go with something like include. I'm gonna go ahead and let's say what is the second thing? From my engine, I'm gonna go ahead and include my engines as header file. Let's go with engine.h. And then once I'm done with that as well, I'm gonna go ahead and include something from my AI controller. I'm gonna go with something like AI controller.h, which is basically my AI controller's header files. And now I would not be able to use my header file here until I don't add them in my build.cs file. So most likely I'm going to be needing something like my AI controller. Let's go with something like AI controller. And my navigation, what's it? Navigation systems. Can I go with into lessons? Nope. Okay, maybe I gotta go ahead and look this up real quick. And guys, the reason I am like looking a lot in the reference is because this is like the second time that I'm writing this. The first time I wrote it, I think like a week or so ago. That's the reason I kind of forgot this part. Okay, so it's AI module, not AI controller. AI module and navigation systems. Okay, so instead of AI controller, I'm going to go with something like AI module and navigation systems. AVAGATION There we go, navigation system. Okay, and all I gotta do is just kind of restart my Unreal Engine, but I'll do that later on. Okay, now for the time being, once I'm done with all this, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add a G engine. So I'm gonna go with something like a G engine. I want to go ahead and add on screen a debug message. Add on screen debug message. Okay, this is why we actually included our engines and header files, and ignore the red underline for now. I just got to go ahead and restart my Visual Studio for that to work. Okay, so I'm gonna go with an add-on screen debug message, which requires a few parameters. First is gonna be a key. I'm gonna go with -1. Second is gonna be a time for how long I want the text to be displayed on my window when Lisa actually changes states. Let's say 2 seconds, maybe like 1 second. Okay, actually I'm gonna go with 1.0 or 1.f. That's the same as 1.0. And then I'm gonna be adding a color. What color do I want my text to be? So I'm gonna use the f colors as structure. Let's go with f colors as structure. And when my Lisa, let's say, starts to chase me, I want this to be something like red, which basically means some kind of an error text that this is the NPC chasing you, go ahead and run type stuff. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and add a text which says something like, Lisa. Maybe I'm going to add my text in a new line. Alright guys, let's go with something like a text with a parentheses. Okay, I think I just need one. There we go. I'm going to go with something like Lisa is chasing you. Why do I feel this just looks like one of a horror games and stuff? Go with something like chasing you. There we go. Okay, then let's end this with a semicolon. Once I'm done with the first case, I'm gonna make sure that I break, and then I'm gonna move on to the second case. For my second case, I'm gonna again check if my Lisa's state is, let's say, something like chase. If my case is chase, then I'm gonna go ahead and do something. What is the plot of the game? Honestly, for the time being, I am just working on the basic logic on how to like, whoops, oh guys, drop my pin down. On how to like make the basic AIs, like implement AI inside of my actors, characters, and like later on use spawns and all that. Since I have like 98 days, I'm thinking I'm going to be spending the next 40 to 50 days mastering some more basics like this, and then the rest 50 days I'm going to work on making models and all that stuff. And I think when I have like 25-ish days left before the end of my project, I'm going to work on my actual project. For now, I'm just working on the code and how the logic works and all that stuff because I'm kind of new with like Unreal Engine type stuff. That's it. I'm going to go with my second case where I'm going to set my Lisa's state name to be equal to, I'm going to go with something like Chase. Now my state name is Chase, ending with a semicolon. Then I'm gonna add a comment that says another logic. This time the logic is gonna be for my player to change states from chase to, let's say, attack if my player gets a bit more closer, let's say at around maybe 50 centimeters near my character that I summoned, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like if player is less than 50 units from Lisa. Okay, let's go with something like from Lisa. Lisa attacks. Let's go with something like attacks player. I should have gone with target. That sounds more classy. Okay, so firstly, I'm gonna go with an if statement. Sure. In my if statement, I'm gonna add something like distance to player. Let's go with something like distance distance to player. Okay, you do task behavior tree enemy. Actually, many of you guys did like talk about the behavior tree, but then I actually did not check it out. I might ask Claude about that. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna first go ahead and add something like distance to player. Although, what does behavior tree really means? I'm gonna go with something like 50.f. And then let's go with the prof curly braces, because I do remember like checking my behavior tree out once in like one of my streams, but I didn't like complete a work on it because I didn't think it's that important type stuff. In case many people are saying, I might do it. Okay, let's celebrate their first Super Anime live stream. Let's go! Okay, let's go somewhere up here. Maybe... Alright guys, give me a sec. Let me just go ahead and kind of heart that. Alright guys, give me a quick little second. Let's go there. Oh. Well, that's strange. I guess it's fine. I'll go down here. Okay, that's it. So now, if my distance to player is this much, I'm going to firstly change my state. So I'm going to go with something like current state. Okay, which is going to be, let's say, equal to, I'm going to go with something like Lisa state. Let's go with something like Lisa state. Okay, it's going to move from chase to attack. There. And then I'm going to end that with a semicolon. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and use my G engine to add on screen a debug message. There. Okay, again, I'm going to be requiring a few parameters. Key -1, time, I'm going to set it to be something like 1.f. And then color, I'm going to go with something like f colors and structure. When my enemy attacks my player, I'm going to go with something like... You know what? I'll go with the red here. When my enemy's chasing, I'll go with yellow. That sounds a bit good. Let's go with yellow. That's red, and then later on I'm going to add a text. Let's go with something like a debug message and call this something like Lisa is attacking you. Let's go with something like attacking you. Move faster. There we go. Whoops. Alright guys. There. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this with a semicolon. And lastly, I'm going to make sure that I go ahead and break. Because, guys, breaking is very important. When it comes to cases, it's going to be all lowercase. Let's go with something like break, ending with a semicolon. Once I'm done with that, for my third case, which is my final case, I'm going to check if my Lisa's state... Okay, let's go with Lisa's state is attack. There we go. If my... Actually, instead of attack... You know what? I don't really think I need attack. I might add another if statement inside my chase. So inside my chase, I'm gonna go ahead and add another if statement. Let's go with something like if. Okay, that checks something. Hold up, guys. Let's go here and add an if statement right here. There. I'm gonna go with something like if of parentheses. Let's say something like if my distance, distance to player is either greater than or equal to 1000.f, then I'm going to go ahead and do something. My current state, I'm going to go with something like current state. Okay, guys, let's go with something like state is going to be equal to Elisa state, which is going to be something like idle. Okay, and then I go ahead and add this with a semicolon. I'm going to set my state, Lisa state name. Let's go with something like Lisa state name. Okay, to be equal to something like maybe idle. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this with a semicolon. And I just realized I kind of forgot to add a tag here. Let's copy this. Let's kind of paste this here. This is going to be a tag. And I just realized one more thing. I don't really need this state name here because I literally like have it up there where I say Lisa is chasing you, Lisa is attacking you. Here's the thing, state starts with idle. I'm gonna go ahead and add on screen a debug message, a regular casual debug message, where this is going to be blue now. Let's go with something like blue. Lisa is standing idle. Okay, this is perfect. ... Now, I want to go ahead and test this out, so I'm going to hit Control-S to save the code. And wait, before I really do something, I want to go ahead and open my reference Unreal Engine as well to check if I kind of did everything right here. Whoops. Let's get my build.cs down here. Let's unpin this, get this there. There we go. I have an update boss logic where I did everything correct. Oh, I forgot to get my boss's controller. Okay, if case is attack, state name attack. Okay, I kind of missed a few things. Gotta kind of get them done. Have you ever online game 2-player or more? I haven't created a multiplayer game, but I have like played a lot of those. Okay, so I have a tick function. Okay, this is something new. Hold up, guys, might have to be hydrated enough to actually soak this all in because I had like 2 exams today. That's the reason I did like kind of stream a bit later. I mean, that's not the real reason. I was kind of lazy. Not really lazy. I was kind of exhausted. Okay, that's it. I mean, I think I streamed before 2:30. That's when I usually stream though. That's it. Let's see. So debug message for the stream. Boss state is gonna be, I'm assuming, my state, right? Let's get this here. Oh, it's state name distance to player. This avoids me adding so many G engines. If G engine debug message for the stream. I have a tag. Okay, let's kind of just soak this in real quick. For my chase, I get the brain, so I go with AI controller, boss controller. Okay. Get the target, a character player. So I gotta include my targets as header files. Did I include my header files here? Excuse me, guys. Okay, my target is a character. If yes, please ask how you implement. Honestly, I did not like understand the question. Do you mean like please explain how to implement the logic where like 2 players can like play together? Guys, I just kind of made that up, but I think I didn't understand the question properly. Okay, that's it. So I have my idle state checked. That was correct and kind of easy. Okay, current state. Okay, for my second case, if I choose this case, I get my AI controller. Okay, and then I go with a character, player target. Maybe I'm going to do 2 at a time. So first I get my player controller. For my chase, I don't just do the same exact thing because that's like repetition. Instead, I'm going to go with something like okay, wait, this is an if statement. So if idle, if I am idle. Okay, case. What up, guys? Did I already forget this part? Okay, let me kind of think what this does. So if I'm standing idle, what do I want to do? There we go. What up, guys? We're just kind of processing what I just read. So practically, if I'm standing idle and my player gets close to me, I want to kind of change my state. I change my state. That part is correct. Then for my chase, for my second logic, I want to chase when my player gets kind of close to me. If my distance, I change my state here. I don't believe. Okay, I gotta get my AI controller. Okay, guys, I think like I'm kind of illiterate when it comes to reading Hindi. Okay. All I understand is like, hold up, guys. I wish that we could like add a translation here because I feel like I do want to learn different languages with that. I don't think there's a translation. I can't like really copy it. Okay, that's sad. Let me go ahead and grab this back up here. There, so the thing that I was messing up is, let me read this once very carefully. I get my state, I get my AI sys controller, I get my player target. It's kind of hard. Okay, so I'm gonna go down here. Actually, guys, when I said hard, it's kind of complex syntax, but it's not really that hard. It's probably because I'm not used to like writing this part. Okay, let's go with something like get AI controller. For my get AI controller, I'm gonna go with something like a AI controller is going to be represented by a pointer called something like AI controller. Hold up, guys, I gotta see the reference again. This is kind of hard to kind of phrase it. Boss controller, cast AI controller. Okay, it's not really that tough. What is something that's actually kind of confusing me? One thing might be that I have to like kind of save the code here. Oops, let's unpin this, get that there. Kind of save the code here as well. And then kind of exit my this thing. I'm gonna save everything. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and exit that. Open my solution explorer. Let's go here. Look, doesn't your brain get tired? You do daily coding, very hardworking you are. Honestly, that does mean the world to me. I appreciate you, Ankit. That's it. I mean, I feel like my brain does get tired, but then in the other hand, I'm like, I started a series, so I might actually complete that type of stuff. That's let's see. And I feel like the more we do stuff that we don't like to do or that it's kind of hard to do, we get kind of better at it. So that's like a benefit. Okay, why did I open this? So in my documents, if I go to Unreal Engine and I go to something like dodge the enemy, when I find my U project, I want to go ahead and show more. Let's go to something like, did I go with show more? Alright guys, let's go with something like show more options. There, I'm gonna generate Visual Studio projects. Without this, I wouldn't be able to use my AI logics and header files. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and maybe grab this here. Guys, this is actually kind of tough. Actually, I won't say it's tough. It's because I don't have enough time to practice this. Like, the only time I really program now is when I actually stream. Because when I don't stream, I do have, like, for my college stuff that I gotta do. That's it. Let's get this up here. There we go. And all of a sudden, magically, I can use my AI. I can use my AI controller up there. What up, guys? This is the wrong project. That's dodge the enemy. I want to open there. Dodge the enemy. Okay, if I'm correct, and once a project loads, I should be able to have access of my AI controller without any kind of red underlines. Ignore the red underlines here. Those are just that's just my editor right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like Lisa's brain. Let's go with something like Lisa brain. I think that name sounds kind of good. I'm gonna set that equal to cast. I want to go ahead and cast something. I want to cast my AI controller. Okay, with a parenthesis which has a parameter of my controller. Okay, then I end this with a semicolon. Now, get AI controller. Okay, so now the reason I really did a cast here was to why did I do a cast here? Okay, so check if the control that I really got is my Lisa's controller and it's not someone else's controller. This is just like a safety check. Guys, if I can't phrase that properly, it is because my brain, you guys could like say it's kind of exhausted because I just wrote 2 exams in game. Okay, get controller. So cast controller and then I get my controller. I'll go with something like Lisa controller. And then this is going to be get controller. Okay, this is going to be get controller's function. And guys, kind of just ignore the red underlines if I did controllers to save the code. What is the second thing that I needed? the second thing that I might need could be, let's say, my character gets the target. Okay, now to get my target, I'm gonna go ahead and do something. Firstly, I'm gonna go with something like my A character, which is going to be represented by a pointer called something like target. And then let's look at the reference real quick. So, alright guys, there we go. Okay, I wish I had time to do this a bit off stream as well, because it like usually back when I didn't have college, I used to like work on this stuff off stream, and that's how I used to like be kind of prepared for it. This is just me kind of raw dogging in. Okay, this is going to be player target equals to U gameplay statistics. The reason we have access to this class here is because we included the Kismet libraries as gameplay statistics header files. Okay, so U gameplay statistics, get player character, I get my world, I get my player index. I see. Okay, and hold up guys, let me just keep my OBS up here just in case there's background noises. Okay, maybe not. I think I'm just hearing things. That said, let's go ahead and close this. Now, from my A character, which is represented by a pointer called something like target, which I kind of spelled wrong. Hold up guys, let's go with something like target. Okay, I want to go ahead and let's say do something. My target is going to be equal to my Unreal's, let's say something like gameplay statistics. Let's go with something like play statistics, STA. Okay, and guys, the red underline does not make this easy for me, because I usually see if I get any kind of red underline to see if I need to fix something. Here I could like potentially debug everything. Although I'm going to go with something like U gameplay statistics, which is going to use the scope resolution operator to point towards God, it would be so much easier if I had like a third window to like look at the reference while writing this part. Okay, I get my player's character, then I get the world, and then I get the player index. I go with something like get player character. Let's go get player character. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get my world. We use this function to get access to the Unreal's world and my index, ending with a semicolon. Now, I'm gonna hit Control S real quick. I wanna run the code. I wanna see if I really run into an error. It says result fails. So, does it say what line? Because I'm kind of positive that the thing that's wrong here is my live coding is currently active. This may cause build failures. Okay. Let's go with something like build. Hold on, let me mute myself real quick. Alright, so let's wait for this to build real quick. Hold up, guys. Why is it taking so long to build? I just realized. No, man, it's done. Okay, so it says 3 succeeded, 1 failed. Let's go ahead and rebuild solution in that case. I want to see where I kind of messed up at. Okay, let's see. So, does it say that everything has been built properly? I just realized rebuilding is the stuff that really takes long compared to like building the stuff. And does that kind of make my stream kind of laggy when I rebuild it? I don't think so. It's almost done. Let me mute myself real quick. Okay, I guess I just keep hearing background noises for no apparent reason. Okay, let's see. 52 succeeded, 0 failed, and 1 skipped. This should probably be a good sign. Let's go to my Unreal Engine. I'm going to Control Alt F11 to kind of live compile and get this here. Okay, it says build failed. It says rules error. Total execution time is 1 second and 1.64 seconds. Let's copy this. I'm just going to copy that because I might need it later on. Okay. So where am I messing up? I included AI controllers as header file, my engines as header file, my gameplay statistics as header files. Okay. By header, I meant helper files. And then my resources as header files. Everything's correct here, to be honest. The property, blah blah. Okay, so what could it be that I'm messing up? Maybe I might go ahead and open my reference again and kind of just read through this part real quick. So I check if my base controller and player target, if my boss controller and player target both are set to true. Command the movement boss controller move to actor function player target. Acceptance radius is 50.f. I see. Logic transition to attack or idle. Okay, if distance is less than 80. current state is going to be equal to, can I just get this in the, I could get it in the other window. I did not really. Guys, what have I been changing windows for if I could just do this stuff? Okay, so I'm gonna go down here. Apparently, what I had to do is kind of remove this part. Let's go ahead and just remove that. Whoops, hit Control Z real quick. Gonna remove the two of these. And now, once I get my target as well, get the target, the player. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like, let's see. So I'm gonna go with an if statement. I already have an if statement. That might be an issue. Apparently, the if statement that I should initially have is not gonna be any of these. Okay, instead it's gonna be here. So firstly, I go with something like my chase. So I have my case called chase, and then I have my Lisa's name. Why does my case does not have a pair of curly braces? There, could it be that my curly braces wasn't there? Let's remove this from here. Should that fix it? Wait, was it my curly braces all along that I did not have? It looks like it. Okay, I guess I see. That might be why it said a rule error. That might be why I got a rule error. So I go with Lisa state name is going to be Chase. I get my player state. Wait, there's just one thing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and paste that here. There. Why is there so many red underlines? This makes it so hard to actually write it. I might just copy my case real quick to check if everything is kind of good here. Until my break. Let's copy this part. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just paste it here. There, you see, even if I paste that part, I get my red underlines here. This is going to be something like my Lisa state name. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to go ahead and paste it here. Okay, and then my F string goes above everything right here. And then I have my switches where my current state is firstly going to be set to idle. So I'm going to go with something like case. If my state is idle, my state name is going to be set to idle. That part is correct. And then logic, if distance is less than 1,000, current state is going to be set to change. Add on screen debug message is optional, but I like doing it. Then break, and then I go with case for my chase. For my chase, I'm going to go with something like state name. My Lisa's state name is going to be equal to chase you. Get the player brain. I got that stuff. This is going to be AI controller. I'm going to go with something like Lisa controller. Okay, and then I go ahead and just get my controller. Then get target the player. A character, my player target, is equal to u gameplay statistics with the scope deletion operator of get character. Okay, all the basic parts. And then I add a statement to check if my boss controller and my player controller, which in this case is gonna be my Lisa controller. And I'm gonna go with something like my player target makes sense. The command move the player, stop when within 50 units. My Lisa controller again, let's go with something like Lisa controller. So there we go. Points towards move to actor, moves towards my actor. And then if my distance to player is less than 80, current state equals to eBoss state, attack state. If distance to player is greater than 500 point F, current distance equals to eBoss state, idle. My Lisa player, let's go with something like my Lisa's controller. Okay, and that's going to be my Lisa's controller as well. They stop moving. Tell him to stop if he gives up. Oh, I see, okay. Guys, I want to kind of just check if this part works. I'm going to copy this part as well. Okay, and if it worked, then maybe next stream I'm going to go ahead and really focus on kind of learning this part up, because I don't think I'll need this parentheses here, right? Don't really. I'm gonna indent and paste it here, because today I think like I'm gonna rarely have any kind of workings with everything I'm going to be doing here, because my brain is kind of already exhausted, if that makes any sense. This is going to be something like Lisa state name. Let's go with Lisa state name. There, and let's just go ahead and exit that. There we go. Okay, and then distance to player, that is correct. eBoss state is set to chase. Okay, so I have a chase, I have a idle, and I have a attack. They all should be correct, to be honest, unless I missed some kind of syntaxes and all that stuff. Okay, so apparently that's pretty much it. The last thing that I needed was the add-on screen debug message, which I will not be needing for the time being. And then just this find the player logic in my tick function. So I'm gonna go to my tick function here, kind of paste this here. And guys, ignore me if you guys think I'm copying the code. This is just for me to really kind of structurize it and learn it, because I did not have time to learn this part. Okay, if I were to hit Control, let's just save the code. Let's try to hit Control Alt F11 to compile this. While it's compiling, I did not check my chats at all. Okay, I love how passionate you with game making, and you really learn a lot of things along the way. Those AIs help, but man, start with simple and easy to understand project like 2D. Actually, I did work with like SDL and like Polygons to work on the 2D project, but then later on I moved on to Unreal Engine because I think that I did get a pretty good grasp of this. The thing that I do like, I'm kind of bad at right now is the logic, so I want to learn how to implement the logic myself, type stuff. Yeah, and you must be careful with switch braces and indentation. That does make a lot of sense, guys. It might also be because I took like 2 exams today, so my brain is already kind of at its limit and fatigued out. Plus, I have some assignments too. That's the reason I can't like completely understand this. Okay, so now let's be very careful. So if I'm going correctly here, my switch state starts there. It does not end, so it might be because I did not end a switch. There we go. My switch ends, and then I have a break as well. Let's add the break here. Okay, I'm assuming the break goes like inside the switch. So I'm gonna go ahead and just copy the break, and then let's just go ahead and paste it here. There, and then for my second case, my switch starts all the way up here, so it must end here. It doesn't there with a break. Starts there, ends there. Okay, that is correct. What is my player char? Okay, so that's my character. Your gameplay statistics, get world, distance to player. It might be my dodge the enemy, the build.cs file. Let's just go ahead and open my other project here as well, where I'm going to go to my build.cs and kind of just compare them. So I have a core. So in my dependency module names, I have a core, I have a core U object, a G engine, a input core, enhanced inputs, AI module, and navigation system, NAVAGATION. Okay, so this part is correct. Next thing is my Lisa C++ file. I think I did about everything right here, right? So this is my tick function where I have my char. If player char distance to player is going to be equal to player char, and then I go ahead and update my boss logic, and then find the player. So a char, okay, is equal to u gameplay statistics, gameplay character, get word. For some reason, even though this seems like, I think it might be two things. Firstly, it might be my editor, so I'm gonna not risk it. Hit Control to save the code real quick, and then I'm gonna close my Unreal. I'm gonna close my Visual Studio, my Unreal Engine, and my other project. Then I'm gonna go ahead and let's say open my Solution Explorer here. Alright, guys, there we go. I'm going to right click, show more options, and go with something like generate Visual Studio projects, because I think like when you actually add something to your build.cs file, you need to kind of close the entire project and like generate the entire Visual Studio again, so they really know that thing has been implemented. That said, let's wait for my Unreal Engine to open here, because I'm pretty sure it's going to open here right now. Okay. What if I show more options here? Okay, now let's open my Visual Studio. There we go. So that is my Visual Studio. I'm going to go with something like Dodge the Enemy. And then let's kind of get my Dodge the Enemy project in my other window. And then kind of extend this, maybe zoom in. Why do I still see the red underlines? This doesn't make sense. Everything has red underlines here. Okay, red underline is not the thing that really matters here. I gotta go ahead and build my solution. This is what really matters here. Let's see if I have any kind of errors. Total execution, does it say 3 succeeded, 1 failed? It says 1 failed, does it say where? 5.7. It doesn't say exactly where I failed. Maybe I run the code and open my Unreal Engine real quick. Okay, let's go ahead and launch my Unreal Engine. It said result. It says a rules is error. I'm gonna hit Control C to copy the code. And then while my Unreal Engine is kind of opening, I'm gonna get Claude here, paste this, and say something like, since I get this error. Okay, let's go with something like ERROR. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to something like my Lisa C++ file, go with Control C, copy that, get Gemini up here, and just kind of paste this and say something like, that is my Lisa's CPP file. I made a new project for practice. There. Okay, let's see. Thinking about resolving Unreal Engine build errors, C++ code compilation issues. Sensei spots 2 bugs, the typo in build file, navigation. I knew there was a typo. Okay, let's copy this. First, that's the one reason that I was actually kind of checking, but then apparently I spelled it wrong while actually even looking for typos. Let's hit Control S to save the code. Let's see the second mistake. Okay, the wrong enum names in Lisa. Boss state, Lisa. Guys, just ignore that. There is no way I went with boss state. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go to my C++'s, right here. I'm gonna go ahead and copy my Lisa state. There's no way I went with boss state. These are the kind of mistakes that in my college, when I'm working like in my programming fundamentals course, I help people because apparently I do already know Python that I'm learning there. I say them to be very careful with names. How did I manage to mess this up? I mean, it does make sense because I am kind of exhausted right now. Paste this here. Let's paste this there. Lisa controller. This is going to be Lisa state. How did I go with boss state? That doesn't make any sense. There we go. Okay, distance to player, Lisa state, any other, get controller, get worlds. Okay, I think that's right about it. Then I'm gonna go ahead and controller to save the code. Now let's get Claude back up here. All bugs to the fix, dodge the enemy, navigation system to navigation system, save and compile. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and kind of build my project again. Let's see if it builds with 0 errors this time. Okay, it will make sense that it's 0 errors this time. Okay, and since I don't have college tomorrow, I will be streaming sooner tomorrow, and maybe I might stream for a bit longer, but I do have assignments. It's actually going to depend based on my schedule as to how many things I completed today. Okay, let's see. Is it just me or does it take this long to compile? Because I just want my Lisa to kind of chase me. Later, I do need to add animation too to my actual meshes. I want to work with like the rig body and all that stuff. Let's wait for this to compile. Does it really take this long to compile? There we go, finally. Break. 1 succeeded, 1 failed, 50 up to date. It says break. Illegal break. Okay, so I'm in my C++ file for my Lisa. Let's go ahead and check the breaks. Should the breaks come after the cases? This is one of the basic things that I gotta, I think maybe know by now. Okay, let's go ahead and just kind of remove that break and then kind of paste it here. Kind of remove that break from here and paste it here. Hit Control S to save the code and build the project again. It should build relatively faster this time. 0 succeeded, 1 failed. Alright guys, let me go ahead and get Claude here. Claude apparently did give me a file here. I'm going to copy this just to see if it really works. There. Will I still see an error if I build this? If I actually got an error, I might actually work on this tomorrow. Probably the reason I can't work on this today is because I'm kind of exhausted. 1 succeed is 0 failed. Apparently, Claude did something that I did not. Maybe I'm going to run the code just to check if the logic really works, because I know it might work right now. Okay, the reason I can't really process all this is maybe because of the fatigue, guys. Okay, that's it. Let's see. So let's go ahead and run the Unreal Engine real quick. I mean, I don't think I did that bad, but I've just been streaming for like an hour and 10 minutes. I really wanted to push for like 2 hours. Okay, let's go up here. Let's kind of extend this up. Whoops. There. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go do something like content. In my content, I'm gonna go ahead and select a map, which is gonna be my map. And then I hit Control Alt F11 to compile, which potentially it is gonna be pre-compiled. There we go. And then I'm gonna go ahead and run the code. Now if I did see okay, I mean, Lisa, basically my actual mesh is not moving because I do got to do something from my Unreal Engine, but it is kind of the basic thing if you guys get the kind of grasp of this. Lisa's attacking. What if I go faster, further back? Lisa is idle. Lisa is idle. Lisa is chasing me. And then Lisa is attacking. Chasing. Idle. There we go, guys. You guys can see the red thing changing. But this is basically not what I really want to do. The thing that I really wanted to do here, which I will actually maybe work on next stream, that is if I want to go to something like home and I want to open my project. Let's go to something like SubNX. This is the other project that I was talking about that I did work on like a week ago. That's the reason I got kind of rusty, because the only time I did like actually work on the code is when I was streaming. Okay, let's wait for this to open. This is where the boss actually chased me. Let's go here. Let's extend it from here. Let's go there. Let's go to content. Do I see my C++ classes? If I run the code, yeah, I gotta go ahead and add that entire boundary that you guys saw there. If I hit B, my boss kind of actually chases me, but this like kind of reminds me of like the Roblox's pet simulator, like the pet games in general, where like the pet kind of chases me. If I hit C, there's my whoops, kind of fell. There's my Lisa there, and you guys might be thinking, what is this big block here? This is the distance where my NPC or my character is allowed to move. So it's allowed to move anywhere in the scope here. I need to do that. I'll do that next stream, because this stream I'm like kind of exhausted. I need some rest, and then I gotta stay for my next assignment as well. That's it. I'm gonna go ahead and exit this. I honestly might end the stream right now. It is kind of awful because I streamed for like really long right now. I mean, for a very short time right now. Okay, but let's say something like, let's say I see ... I will work more on refining this code tomorrow, because today I wrote 2 exams, so I can't really absorb any info. So I might end the stream right now. Before I do end the stream, is there anything that you want to say to the viewers? Question mark. Okay, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? For appreciate you joining the stream. What's up, bud? Remember me? Honestly, I think I do remember you. That's it. Having long story as well. Appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, Sensei's message to your viewers: to everyone watching, respect your streamer for showing up after 2 exams. That takes dedication. What you saw today, real coding, real bugs, real learning. This is how everyone learns to program, one error at a time, one fix at a time. Remember, every red audit line is a lesson, not a failure. Every compilation error is progress. You're one step closer to working your code. The best programmers aren't the ones who make mistakes, they're the ones who debug like warriors. Your streamer is doing the right things, studying the code, asking questions, and building the public. Okay? That's how you grow. Homework for the chat before the next stream. Try to answer, what does auto-possess AI do? Why do we need a nav mesh? There we go. This is what I was going to talk about. The nav mesh is the thing that I need to add through my blueprint, through my Tom's blueprint. What's the difference between idle, chase, and attack, and all that basic stuff. Come back with answers and flex your knowledge. Okay, what you doing, bro? Honestly, I was just done. If you like go a bit back in the stream, you're gonna see the project that I was gonna work on, or like that I was working on for my NPC that I summoned using a button in my key. He actually kind of chases me type stuff, but I did not have enough. My brain was probably pretty fatigued to like actually learn the code. But since I don't have college tomorrow, the after tomorrow, and the day after that, I'm going to be making like a lot of progress in those 3 days. That's it. Let's go to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for the stream. If you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, subscribe, like it from the algorithm, sharing makes you smile, and subscribing so you're on top. That said, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, Geek, YouTube. I will start multi-streaming on TikTok and Instagram as well. So if you guys do enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there. The link is going to be in the description. And also join the Discord server. That's why we talk to you guys, chat with you guys, have general conversations, give you guys my roadmap, and all that basic stuff. You guys can get access to my Discord server or any of my socials in general through the link in the description, to my bio, or by typing exclamation Discord in chat for my Discord and exclamation socials in chat for my socials. That's it. I'll catch you guys next time for more video. Peace.